Page 48, March. 4/4 time, 1 sharp in the key signature, when the key is G major, all the F's are sharp, but there's a few other accidentals we got to deal with. One hand at a time. Let's make sure we got the fingering and the notes and the rhythms. Right hand first, we're here. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. I hope you understand dotted rhythms. They're 3 and 4 and. The B is on 3. The dot is on 4. It gets a half a count, which means that the 8th notes then are on the and of 4. And. 3 and 4 and that's the way it works here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now you got a little finger's got to come up now. Hold that down, it's a whole note. Second finger again. I don't like that, but okay, we'll do it. You do that again. Then I'll measure 7. You're here. Now that G is only a half note. You only hold it down for the 8th notes. And lift that up, so that's by itself. And they're saying 4th finger. I don't like that at all. I think that's very dangerous fingering. I'm going to recommend you do this. Here, instead of 4th finger, use thumb. Just stretch up, use thumb. And then come across, pivot on the thumb, come across, 2, 1 here for the F sharp A, and thumb. Connect it all. Just fun. And you'll run across this in music. You need to be able to do this anyway, so go for it. Second line, third line. We're on the 3rd line. I'm just transferring weight, and when I get... There's no difference between playing this note and this note. I'm transferring weight both ways. It's just how many fingers do I have down. Here it's just 1 finger. Here it's 2 fingers. Try and get them down at the same time. That's hard for me, but so it's then crossover and stay there. Lift up and move. Rest, and then we go back and do that some more. Now if you look at the end of the 3rd and 4th lines, your right hand is here, and then when the next line comes along, you got to come up into this position. During that rest, when you're the half rest, sometime get your right hand up. As the left hand is playing its note, get the right hand up ready to go, because you have to move the left hand too. And this way the right hand's already in position. You're not moving both hands at the same time. So it's measure 12 is here. As I play that, I get the right hand up here ready to go. And that way when the left hand is done, it just moves up. Same thing at measure 16. It's get the right hand up, and then the left hand can come up when it's ready for it to play. It's 1 hand at a time when I move if I can. And that's nice. Left hand. Treble clef. You're up here. It's the same rhythm as the right hand. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 3 and 4. Just reach down, 2nd finger. You can also lift up and move some, but try. That's an A and a G there. And then come up to 3rd finger. They're saying 3rd finger. And then lift up. Yuck. Let's try this. 3rd measure, you're here. And then for the 4th measure, I suggest thumb. And then cross over 4th finger. If you relax the thumb, this is not that, you don't have to twist around or nothing, just relax the thumb and put 4th finger on it. And now you can do 3, 1, 2, because you got to hold the half note down. So I recommend that fingering. So again, the last 2 measures of the 1st line, you're here. Thumb. Now you can lift up 3rd finger. Down. And that last note in 2nd line, that G is parentheses. That is this publisher's way, and other publishers do it too, of telling you that note is actually covered elsewhere. You don't have to play it. The right hand's playing that note, so the left hand can rest. But if you're following the voicing, because we got multiple voices going, if you have multiple instruments, if you want to arrange this piece for multiple instruments, then you need to have some instruments playing this line. They need to play that G too, even though other instruments are playing it also. So multiple instruments are playing the same note. And that's just, on piano, we only need one finger to do it. We don't do it with both hands. And I'll come back to that when I get the hands together. Third line, you're here. That is a dotted half note. You're going to hold it down for the first 3 counts. And then you see the quarter rest on the 4th count underneath it. That, we got 2 voices going. We got to account for both voices. So the bottom voice is a 1, 2, 3, rest. The top voice there is 1. So they're together. And you're saying, well, what happened to the bottom voice now? There's only one voice. Well, in theory, they're both doing these notes together. The thumb, you lift up and do it again. The thumb. And then let's go down the last line, the last 2 measures. You're here. 4, 1, and then 2. And then we got that G in parentheses again. Let's put the hands together. Here. They're on top of each other. Hopefully they get along okay. I don't know. And 4. Try and get these notes down at the same time so we hear that. That's hard to do. At least it is for me. 3 and 4. 3 and then Now we have a problem here. And this is measure 4. I'm putting the hands together. The melody. That's what we want to hear. But the left hand needs that G. Both hands need the same note. So it's here. Here. Now the left hand's going to need it. So you got to get off a little bit early in the right hand so the left hand can have it. That means you can't connect. It's going to be a little... Make it as short a silence as you can. So in that measure you hear... because the left hand needs it. That's what he wrote. It's not my fault. He did it. And then go on. There. See, the right hand has that G. The left hand gets to rest. See, this is, I'm holding that down. Until the last note there. Here. Those are by themselves. Got that solid line going down. Some publishers use it as a dashed line. It's telling you that's where the melody is going. It's melody, so it's here. That's all melody. The left hand's been, I'll get to that in a minute, but the left hand has been a little softer, believe it or not, but that one note has to be played the same as the right hand. It has to be the same loudness, so you have to make it match. It has to sound like one hand played it all. Same thing with that D. On measure 12, that's melody. It's got to come out a little more. It's got to sound just like one hand did it all. You do that some more. Now I played all of this connected more or less. Now we can add in the articulation, the slurs and the accents and whatnot. Now at the beginning of this, you get these tenuto lines on both hands here. I'm suggesting here you connect these notes. It's as if the whole thing of the first 2 measures are slurred together. And then lift up, new slur, lift up, you hear, but not to hear. Is it different? You have to lift up to get off the G, that's a bummer, but try and make it sound connected. And then second line, same way. Connect these. And then here. And then on these quarter notes where they don't give you any slurs or anything, slightly disconnect the notes. That way we have a difference between the tenutos at the beginning here. You connect those. And these with no tenutos, you slightly disconnect them. Then a measure 9, here slurred. And these, just disconnect these. Disconnect these. The same thing, so I'm suggesting it for this piece, you disconnect these quarter notes that don't have any tenuto or anything on them. And for those with the line, the tenuto line, connect those like they're legato. You can, I suppose, put a little more stress on them. I don't know if this composer wanted that or not, because at the beginning of the 1800s and before, a tenuto line meant stress, add a little louder. It was like an accent. But then that was phased out, and then it was kind of more of just linger on the note. You don't stress it. But some composers don't go that way. People don't agree. Big surprise. In this piece, because of the way the articulation is marked, I'm suggesting you connect these tenutos. And on these others with no tenuto on them, disconnect them. So forth. The dynamics, loud. Mostly for the right hand. It's wherever the melody is. There. Top note. You're staying basically loud. You can get a little louder and softer after you get to know the piece and you start feeling it. You can get a little loud, but it's in the loud area. Then in the third line, they're giving you loud again. Well, that kind of implies you didn't stay loud. Well, no, at the end of the second line, you can come down a little bit. I mean, it's the end. You come down at the end. But third line, you're loud. And they're saying non-legato. I told you to separate the notes. Well, that's the same as non-legato. They could have said staccato. The problem is people misinterpret staccato and they think, oh, it's short. No, they don't want short. They want a long staccato. Separate the notes. So they say non-legato, and that's clearer. That makes sense. And then, measure 13, you're going to echo that. It's soft. Right hand. Left hand's going to be very soft. Except that one note, that's melody. They didn't draw you a line down. They should have, because it is melody. In measure 14, that's melody. It should be the same. And then last line, you're loud again. And they're connected. So forth. That's my impression of the articulation. Other people would have other ideas. Well, that's fine, wonderful. Speed-wise, well, it's marciale. It's like a march. Left, right, left, right. Keeping in mind in a march and a dance, it implies people are moving to the music. And when that sort of thing happens, you got to be very careful to keep a steady beat. You can't be speeding up and slowing down, or the people tend to trip over themselves and they don't like you anymore and all that junk. So just there's no retard or nothing at the end. Keep it all the same speed all the way through. I'd like to play this with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do the dynamics. I'll give us 4 counts, so let's just try it together slowly. 1, 2, ready, go. 3 and 4. 3 and 4 and. And 4. 3 and 4 and. 4 and. 3 and 4 and. 4 and 4 and 4 and. Repeat. 4 and. 4 and. 3 and 4. 3 and 4 and. 3 and 4 and off.